Good morning, everyone. My name is László Szabó, and I am a head of Statistics Analytics Department of the Hungarian Energy Agency, regulating agency, and I will be talking about the conditions of the METÁR tender. Very briefly, what I will be talking about, an introduction to the renewable energy situation, then also about the support system and METÁR tenders. First of all, where do we start? We undertook an obligation of 13% of renewables 2020, and it includes also transportation, heating and cooling, and 10% of renewables in transport. And we also undertook a voluntary undertaking, which is 14.65. That, as for the goals for 2030, Hungary's obligation is higher, it's 21%, but the EU regulation has also changed, so there were voluntary obligations. At EU level, we want to achieve a 32% renewable share. Very shortly, how it is going. At the very beginning, we were really proud for our position, but in the last couple of years, this percentage started to decline. I will show you later why. We think that there is a certain logic behind the system, but since this is a share, if the gross energy consumption change with the sectors that don't use renewables, then this percentage can shrink. And therefore, we cannot necessarily achieve 13% for 2020. You can see that heating and cooling is the dominant in Hungary, and this is also based on wood. It's very difficult to monitor statistically. And we can also say that this is a sector where there are other factors like climate change. This is not the most innovative way of increasing the share. The gross energy consumption is increasing due to the increase of the economy, and can also the biomass usage has decreased either because of warmer winters or for other reasons, for instance using natural gas for heating if the prices are more favorable. It is also more convenient, and a lot of end users switch from wood and coal to natural gas, and that reduces the use of biomass, which also deteriorates the total renewable share. Putting biomass aside, let's focus on the PV production increase. You see this graph, and this is a forecast till 2030, and this of course is dependent on a lot of factors. You can see here the domestic household production, the CAT system, the METÁR system, and also the METÁR production with or without tendering. We have the following assumptions: that the household capacity will be increasing continuously till 2024 with 120 megawatt per year of embedded capacity growth. And why 24? Because due to the last directive, EU directive, we have to account till 2024. Hopefully this will be compensated by the new regulation starting from 2023. But we have not considered that. We just calculated with the increase till 2023 and then afterwards a stagnation. Also that all the implementations will be completed according to the schedules and the time roadmaps, and we consider the METÁR tenders with the 6,500 megawatts till 2030. Looking at 3-year implementation times, we calculated with continuous implementations. We have not considered, though, the new PV projects that will be implemented without support and subsidy. At this point, we need to mention that all these have certain challenges, and they can only be fulfilled when certain criteria is met. For instance, the balancing energy costs, and not only METÁR is affected, but also the CAT, KAT power plants are also affected. There is a government decree for that, and you probably know this. And also the redundancy requirement at the system level will be increased, and if there are no flexible capacities available, then it has to be obtained from abroad, which means there will be a bigger pressure on cross-border capacities. So we need to consider that as well. But this is rather theoretical at the moment. Not to mention that certain power plants could be limited. Not only the PV power plants, but the traditional power plants as well. So if we see increase in renewables, then of course we have to modify the load of the traditional power plants. Also, the costs of the network development will probably increase, And we also need to have proper plans for the integration of these PV farms. Now let's move to the renewable support scheme, the METÁR. We started with the fixed price and we then switched to METÁR, but there was also a fixed transfer price. And then the green premium was introduced within the premium system. The tendering is what is timely, but we also need to mention the brown premium that is as a biomass category. And this is a summary table about the CAT and the METÁR systems and the main differences between the two. I think this is self-explanatory. The balancing energy cost is paid by the producer fully. The time frame of the subsidy, the scheme is 15 years, and this is a bidding process, and it is applicable to renewable energy source and the relevant capacities for the new power plants, and that is 49.99 megawatts. This is the cap. As for the conditions, now in this system, the generated electricity has to be sold by the producer, paying the balancing cost. It can connect to any balancing circuit, and the subsidy is the difference between the reference price and the actual price. And since the reference price is not the same as the amount at which the producer sells, it is obviously the producer's risk of trading. Also, the reference price is calculated according to certain rules, and the premium is zero if the HUPEX next day hour prices are negative for at least 6 hours. And according to the government decree, you can only obtain support subsidy via a bidding process. This is a technology neutral pay-as-bid tender, and the price quotation decides, and it's at equal prices. There are also certain preferences like brownfield investment, but they are only applicable at equal price bids. The maximum price is also set. The maximum timeline is also set at 15 years, and at least 3 months is given for submitting the bids. And the 1000 meter rule is still applies. So the total capacity is calculated by adding the points within 1000 meters. It has to be a renewable energy source. The capacity brackets published. It has to be a new investment or a significant refurbishment. The bidder has to be within local or the EU headquarter. You have to have all the relevant technical documentation. You have to provide the EOV coordinates for the network connection point, and there also has to be a bid bond. And the frame was set up by the ministry. This is 20.5 billion forints per year, and it has to be spent at as many as possible renewables project. And this is an ex-ante logic, so it is not the actual support, but this is a preliminary estimate, and that's how the different brackets are set. There will be also a limit for capacities and also the number of applicants. Due to the EU regulations, we also need to consider the support of the foreign investments. If there are several member states agreeing, then the support schemes have to be mutual, as to consider the statistical accounting. This scheme has to be opened up to 12% if Hungary agrees with any of the member states. As far as I know, there aren't any yet. So I don't think there will be foreign power plants supported by this scheme in the near future. What kind of risks the bidders face? There is a FX risk because the whole subsidy system is in forints, while on the cost side, a lot is accounted in foreign currency. So this is definitely a risk for the bidders, but they have to live with it. As for the market prices, you also have a risk of reference prices. It can be managed, but it has a cost, and the negative prices also represent a risk. For the future, and the balancing costs that most probably will increase in relation to all this, not to mention the financing cost risk. Sorry. The up-to-date tender is a METÁR-TENDER 2020. There are two categories as it was in the past, and low category is from 0.3 megawatt up to 1 megawatts, and the high category is about 1 megawatts, and the annual subsidy is 200 million forints for the low category and 600 million forints for the high category. And the supported capacity is 40 gigawatt per hour or 350 gigawatt hour per year, sorry. Hopefully this will be the limiting value and not the yearly subsidy. So we estimated 270 megawatt PV capacity. We'll see how the prices will increase compared to the last tender. There's also a limitation for any ownership group, which is 15 gigawatt hour per year and 175 gigawatt hour per year. And you can also bid for both, so the total cap is 190 gigawatt hour per year. And the implementation deadline is 3 years from the award. As I mentioned, only electricity generated and produced on a domestic power plant can be supported. The agency published the second tender on the 15th of July, and the bids could be submitted since yesterday, and the deadline is 15th of October, and the maximum price is 26.7 forint per kilowatt hour. The maximum subsidy period is 15 years, and for the financial bonds, there is a bid bond, which is 1.5%, and also a performance bond, which is 5%. So this is the summary table about the changes from the previous one. You can see that the cap was almost more than doubled from 20 megawatts to 49.9 megawatts. The maximum price is slightly higher, 26.7 forints. As for the securities, you need to submit a sample, and this can also be submitted electronically or in hard copies. So I would like to draw your attention to this, and this is the up-to-date version of the tender documentation. It has been uploaded to the website, and also the forms have been updated, and there is also a calculation assistant on our website. So this was basically my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.